I discovered something very interesting I'd like to share with you about something that Jesus said, and I'd like your opinion. If you don't know me, my name is Matt, and I take a look at the truths behind divine spirituality. One of the podcasts I did recently, somebody said Jesus didn't hate taxes. He said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. It's a really good comment. In the podcast, we were talking about how the corporate megastructures are now just kind of money-hungry. Entities are willing to take the word of Christ and then kind of twist it in order to pat down their own pockets here. It's something that we've seen all throughout the last couple of thousand years. But I want to take a real reflective look at those words that Jesus said. Specifically, the guy's quoting Mark 12:17. Then Jesus said to them, give back to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. And they were amazed at him. Now, here's the big problem that I have with a lot of people who quote from the Bible. First of all, you can't just quote one verse and then say that that's it. That Jesus said it, that's it. Because there's a whole, we're missing a lot of context here, right? So why don't we go from the very start of this little block, and we'll try to use our brains here, because Jesus was a very, very, very intelligent guy. You got to look through what he was really trying to say in order to really conceptualize it here. So Jesus comes by the Pharisees and the Herodians. They said to catch him in his words. Okay, you have to read this. They came to him and said, teacher, blah, 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 blah. Is it right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar or not? Should we pay or shouldn't we? But Jesus knew their hypocrisy. Why are you trying to trap me? So already, you should be reading this and say to yourself, these guys were trying to trap Jesus in a trick. They were trying to say, oh yeah, look at all this material world. Well, Caesar's the one on the coin. They're asking, Jesus says, he asks them a rhetorical question. He says, whose face is on the coin then? Why are you asking me this dumb question? Whose face is on the coin? Who do you have to pay? Caesar's, they reply. I can't even get this. Caesar's face is on the coin. Then Jesus said, okay, then give back to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. And they were amazed at him. Now use your noodle and kind of back up a little bit here. Did Jesus get crucified because he was the Son of God? No. Jesus was crucified because he started destroying the money changers' stands at the temple, because he clearly was not for people stealing money from the poor or from the needy or from people who were really spiritual. The literal evidence for this is what got him killed, people. Let's put a little twist on it. Jesus was a Jew. The Jews are very infamous for a lot of different books, one of which is called the Zohar. In the Zohar, the Jewish book of mysticism, it says that the evil in the world is like a vicious dog on a leash. The Zohar goes on to say, give the dog a bone so you can enjoy your best meal. Not give a dog, give the dog of evil. So in other words, what the Zohar, what the Jews, which is what Jesus was trying to teach, is that the evils of the world are going to exist regardless. The people who are going to demand taxes from you are going to exist regardless. You can choose to not pay them and suffer the consequences, or you can choose to battle through that, give to him what is owed, if he says that he has these taxes, whatever, but then give to God what is God's. God has everything. So when you're giving that money to Caesar, it's so that you can continue to live your life, or else if you end up standing up like Jesus did, you end up getting crucified. So this isn't Jesus saying that he condones taxes, and it's not Jesus saying that he condones the evil of the world. This is a very deep parable about how Jesus understood the evils of the world, and that the best way to combat them was to give everything that you had to God. Yeah, you might have to throw a few shekels of silver over towards the Roman conglomerate, but that's only because they are the evils of the world. They're the ones who are taking everything, bastardizing it, stomping over people's lands, stealing things from other people. He's saying you have to do what you have to do in this physical world in order to survive and to keep perpetually moving. Not by doing bad acts, not by paying taxes or anything like that, but just by giving as much as you can, everything you have, to God. Caesar's not really owed anything. Caesar's dead by this point, actually. Julius Caesar, whose face was on the coin, was dead by the time that Jesus was around. So Caesar is owed nothing. It's a play on words. They were trying to trick Jesus. He tricked them back. He said, give to this dead, evil person what is owed to him, if you really think that that's the way to live, and give to God everything. God is owed everything. So that's really the whole point. That's why Jesus did stuff like this. Just food for thought. I don't know why people are so hyper obsessed on taking each and every single word literally, when you could just think of it in a higher sense and you can kind of come and piece together these types of conclusions. So drop a comment down below. What do you think?